So when you're designing for print, it's a good idea to print things out. For this project, it helps to be able to actually test out what this would look like if it were wrapped around a real book, and the dimensions of this project mean that it would not fit on a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So it does need to be tiled, which is an option in the print dialog box. You can choose tiling, and it will distribute the document across more than one sheet of paper, and then it can be printed out in pieces and put together afterward. So how I did that was I used 8.5 by 14 paper, which is legal size, and that will fit in the trays for any standard laser printer, home laser printer. And so this layout that I have on the book started out as 3 separate sheets of paper. Okay, so 3 separate sheets of paper, and I have this self-healing cutting mat. I've got an X-Acto, and I have a ruler. And basically what I did is I trimmed off this excess and pieced these together. And I can't actually demonstrate it for you because I'm holding a phone in one hand, but I pieced these 3 sheets together after I trimmed off that white excess, and then I taped them together. And so when I tape them together, I end up with one very large sheet. And since this has all the printer's marks, it's got the crop marks here, and it's got the fold marks here. I was able to take the ruler first of all, and I was able to align that ruler with these fold marks. And then I was able to take the X-Acto knife and score those fold marks, which means that I'm cutting very lightly so that I don't cut through the paper, and then that helps me to be able to make a clean fold. So that's the purpose of those. For our proofing purposes, that's what the fold marks are used for. And then once I make those scores that will allow me to fold this up, then I take the ruler and the X-Acto, and then I can trim this out using the crop marks. And also what I can do is I can check to make sure this has a bleed on it. So if I take my ruler and I align this ruler with the crop marks, I can see that the background image goes 1/8 of an inch beyond those crop marks, which is correct. So if I don't do something like this, I could run into a problem where I turn in something like this, which is, this is the 100% size of the project that was turned in. It looks like it's just a low res image from Photoshop, so everything on the on that layout is kind of jagged and pixelated. Something like this is great if you're working on a book cover for a dollhouse, but it's not going to work for our project. So let's take a look at some of the technical problems that I'm seeing, it become really obvious as these get printed out. Some of these jackets have some really wide white borders on them, which I'm having the sense that maybe these are not, this isn't intended, but maybe there's some confusion about the dimensions of the design. So this is something that really needs to be fixed. I mean, as of now, whether it's intentional or an error, this becomes part of your design. So there's several covers that have this sort of issue happening. This one has some white vertical borders on the front and the back cover, which don't look intentional to me. So these images are squished. They look like they're distorted, and it looks like the distortion is resulting from somehow these borders here. So that needs to be fixed. This one also has some problems. If we see that this is the, let's see, let me try to get a good shot of this. Okay, so if this is the cover, then I see that there's some text from the flap that's on the cover. Okay, and then the back cover looks like it's misaligned as well. This one also has a little bit of a white area here that looks like it's not quite correct. So another one. So I'm not really sure where this sort of margin is coming from, or white border, but that needs to be fixed. So when you have a thick white border on your projects, it looks to me like you're not taking advantage of the entire document area to realize your designs to their fullest extent. Okay, so one of the things that I noticed happened quite a bit is that the fold marks that you were supposed to put in manually did not show up on the PDFs. So, you know, again, you want to proof your work when you create the PDF. You want to open it up and make sure everything's there that's supposed to be there. You want to make a printout. If you are unable to make a large printout like this, or it's just not practical for you to do, then you know, something like this that's just on a single sheet of paper, even if it's not 100%, you want to make sure that you proof your project in grayscale and that you make sure everything is there that's supposed to be there. So like on this one, there are no fold marks. All right, so I want you to correct any of these errors, and any of the other things aesthetically that I have pointed out, you're going to want to fix as well, and then resubmit your reworked, rethought, corrected design.